In today's video, I will be sharing with you guys my process of decluttering my makeup or specifically eyeshadow palette collection. I've always been intrigued by the idea of minimalism and becoming a minimalist myself. And I know that this is not going to magically make me become a minimalist or anything like that, because I am quite a maximalist in a lot of areas of my life, but definitely trying to resolve that. And at this point in my life, I really want to switch over and become more minimalistic and simplify my life and my luggage. I thought starting off in my makeup collection was a very good start of this journey, and I'm excited to bring you guys along with me, because maybe you guys were thinking about doing the same thing, or I don't know. I always think it's pretty inspiring and entertaining to watch other people declutter their stuff, because it always motivates me to go ahead and do it myself as well. I just want to first off show you what my eyeshadow palette collection looks like, because it's quite heavy. It'll be really interesting to show you guys before and after of what my collection looks like throughout this whole process. So if you guys haven't seen my vanity tour that I filmed a couple weeks ago, I'll go ahead and link that here so you guys can check it out if you are interested. But that will answer any of your guys' questions or comments on my vanity. So I just wanted to point that out there. I do have a whole dedicated video to my vanity, how I organize things, how I customized it, how I set it up, everything. Before we get started, if you are new here, my name is Amy and I make fashion, beauty, and lifestyle videos here on YouTube. If that sounds like your thing, please go ahead and subscribe and follow me on Instagram to see my day-to-day, and let's go ahead and get into it. This is gonna be embarrassing because I have so much stuff. I definitely have a smaller makeup collection than a lot of people here on YouTube, especially because I am really good about replacing items, getting rid of expired products, and giving away products that I don't use and rehoming them. So mine is way more organized than it was before when I used to work at Sephora, because I hoarded a ton of makeup, and it's just gotten a lot better. But my eyeshadow collection is still kind of bad. It's so heavy that it's hard to open this drawer, but everything in there are just makeup eyeshadow palettes. So let's go ahead and dump this out on the floor, and I can walk through everything that I will be keeping and everything else that needs to get out of this, acrylic. I think this is the best that I can do, so you guys can also see me as well as my eyeshadow palettes here. So hopefully this turns out okay, but I'm just going to start digging in and putting them in different piles, and we'll see where it goes, okay? This is so overwhelming. I'm gonna try to keep myself calm and collected. The first thing that I see is my Tati Beauty Volume 1 eyeshadow palette, and I'm definitely keeping this. I absolutely love this palette. It is so nice, and all the shadows are just, that's a vibe. Like, it's a full-on vibe, and this color story is amazing. I have already gotten so much use out of this palette, so definitely keeping this. I'm gonna kind of breeze through a lot of stuff, because if you guys are into makeup, you guys probably have seen all of these palettes already, and there's nothing like too new in here. I'm just gonna, be quick with it, so we are not stuck here forever. This is my MAC single eyeshadow palette that I curated, and it just has a bunch of brown neutral shades as well as warm shades in here, so I'm definitely gonna keep this. This is like my everyday palette, so I absolutely love this one. I have the So Jaded palette by Kathleen Lights and her collection with ColourPop. I am obsessed with Kathleen Lights. She's definitely one of my inspos for makeup and just life in general. She's just so funny and amazing and quirky. I love her to death, so I love supporting her by purchasing her palettes. But this one is absolutely my favorite palette that she has ever come out with ColourPop. So I'm definitely gonna keep this. I do use a ton of shades in here. It has lovely, lovely brown tones and also very warm to like blues and purples. I just love this so much. So I'm gonna keep this. I already have a feeling that I'm gonna keep a lot of these palettes. This is the Element of Surprise ColourPop eyeshadow palette. I have a lot of ColourPop shadows in here. I love their shadows because they are so affordable, but they have really good quality shadows. So this is what it looks like. I like this, but it's just not my favorite because I feel like the So Jaded palette has a lot of shades like this, so I might actually part with this, saying goodbye to the Element of Surprise. So I'm gonna keep my swipe rights on my right side and left on the, you know, get rid of pile or donate pile or whatever. And this is the Urban Decay Naked Petite Heat palette. I actually had this in my everyday makeup pouch because I do love the warm tones in this palette, and it's really good for travel. I don't know, I'm unsure about this, so I'm actually gonna put that right in the middle up here. I have the Tartelette Pro To Go palette here. This is also a really good travel palette, but I honestly don't use this that much. This is another hard one because it is really, okay, I'm gonna sit on that one. This one is so cute because it is Peri Pera's collaboration with the Powerpuff Girls, and I don't know about you, but Powerpuff Girls has a really, really big place in my heart, and it just brings a lot of memories back from my childhood. But I absolutely love this eyeshadow palette because of the fact that it has Buttercup's face on it. However, I think I will be parting with this one because I just don't use it that much, and the matte brown in here is not the most pigmented, so I am going to part with this one. This is my Viseart or Viseart palette. It's in the 01 Neutral Matte, and this is what it looks like. Hopefully the lighting is okay and you guys can see it, but perfect neutral brown palette for every day, so I am definitely keeping this. I'm also definitely keeping my Pat McGrath because y'all know this costs an arm and a leg. This is the, I have no idea which one it is. It's the one with 4 different colors. And this gold, dark brown, this opal color, and a more maroon color? Maroon? Also going to keep my Marc Jacobs palette, and this is the 790 Fantasine. That's cute. This is a great spring summer palette because it has a lot of peachy pink shades, so I absolutely love this. And can you guys talk about gorgeous packaging? Amazing. This, I believe I got in my BoxyCharm, one of those subscription boxes, and this is by Pure and Soray Diaries palette. I actually really did enjoy this palette a lot because it has a lot of great neutral to cool eyeshadows in here, but I do have a lot of shadows that are exactly like this, so we'll be parting with this one. This palette I also believe I got in a BoxyCharm, and this is, no, it's either BoxyCharm or a FabFitFun, but one of those subscription boxes. And this is by Beauty Bakery, which I love. Proof is in the Pudding eyeshadow palette. I mean, how cute is this palette, by the way? It's so freaking cute. These shadows are ginormous. Like, each shadow pot is just so big. That's so funny. I'm on the fence about this one because the shadows are gorgeous. I just think that all of these shades I can get in the ones that I saved from my collection, so I'm gonna put a maybe on this one. The Revue de Paris palette from Moonshot. I actually recently hauled this from a Yes Style order, and I'm gonna keep this one because I do think this is perfect for travel. Honestly, if I am gonna keep this, I might let go of the Tartiste Pro To Go because they do have pretty similar colors, like you guys can see. I definitely don't need both, so I'm gonna let go of the Tartiste and keep my Revue palette. This is the Narcissus palette, definitely keeping this. This is one of my absolute favorites. It has gorgeous shimmer, glitter, shimmery shadows. I love this so much. I'm definitely keeping that. This is a MAC Semi-Sweet x9 palette. It's a mini shadow palette with all of these shades. And I do like this, but the shadows just aren't that pigmented. I definitely don't think that these are up to par with their normal sized eyeshadow pans. Okay, I'm gonna put this in maybe because I don't have a really small neutral shadow palette with just mattes, so I'm just gonna keep that. I am going to part with the ColourPop Main Squeeze palette because this has all of these pink red shades and not really my thing anymore. I am not as brave anymore to wear these types of eyeshadows. It's just not, I don't know, they're super, super pretty, but I barely touch this palette, so I'm gonna get rid of it. It's not worth the space that it takes up. This is the Shayla and ColourPop Proceed with Caution palette. A little bit more on the neutral side, but with a pop of yellow here. And I do really like this shimmer. So I think I don't know. It does remind me a little bit of that pudding eyeshadow palette, but okay, I'm gonna put this in maybe. Tartelette Toasted palette, definitely a must keep. I mean, amazing shadows. This kind of actually looks like the Proceed with Caution. Let me try this out. It's like similar, but not really. I think they are different enough, but okay, well, I'm definitely keeping the Tartelette Toasted. Still iffy on this one, so I'm just gonna keep that aside. Tartelette in Bloom, okay. This one, I'm not crazy about it anymore because they are more in the neutral to cool eyeshadow color tone. And I just think that all these, these three colors down here are the exact same. I mean, they are really, really similar. It's very, very slight differences. And I just don't really gravitate towards that much anymore because I do have these mauve colors. I'll put that in maybe for now. This is the Dream Street palette, another Kathleen Lights collaboration with ColourPop. And this is what it looks like. I like this palette, but not as much as the So Jaded, so I'm actually going to let this one go. I have two Too Faced palettes like these ones. These are super cute. This one is the peanut butter one and this one is honey. This one looks like this and the honey one looks like this. This actually reminds me of, okay, everything has been reminding me of the Proceed with Caution. I'm just gonna compare because this one also has that bright yellow. Because if I'm gonna keep something, I'm gonna keep one or the other. The thing I like about the Proceed with Caution is that it has a giant mirror, so I actually really love that about it for travel. I'm gonna keep the Proceed with Caution because these colors are slightly more muted and less pigmented than the Proceed with Caution, so I'm gonna let go of this. So this one has a really fun purple in here. Yeah, I'm gonna part with this one. I don't really gravitate towards those two that much anymore anyway. I have a couple Natasha Denona palettes. This one has a bunch of purples in it, so I'm gonna keep this because I'm getting rid of the Too Faced one that has a purple in it. And I'm going to keep this other Natasha Denona palette. This is in palette number 8 and this is in number 10. So I'm gonna keep both of them because also very, very expensive and I cannot part with those. I have the Becca, oh my god, this used to be my favorite everyday eyeshadow palette and it still is. It just has 5 very basic neutral eyeshadows but more in the mauve tone. So I'm definitely gonna keep this, one of my favorites for everyday. This is the Multi palette by Tony Moly and has a very similar shape as the Becca one. I'm going to part with this because it's just not that pigmented and I have a lot of similar colors like this from my Marc Jacobs and the Natasha Denona palette, so I'm gonna get rid of this one. Huda Beauty Desert Dusk. This I'm gonna keep because it has a lot of different shades. I love bigger palettes like this because it just has everything that I need ever. I love my purples, so I'm gonna keep this one. I also have the Natasha Denona Lila palette, which I'm not gonna part with, and the Sunset palette. I'm sure you guys have already seen a bunch of videos on these when they first came out, but this is the Sunset one. Beautiful. I mean, her shadows are gorge. And this is the Lila one if you have not seen it yet, but a bunch of purples and love that. Super, super pigmented, buttery smooth. I remember buying those and it was like such a monumental thing because I bought them. I only buy these expensive palettes when they go on sale, like with the Rouge discount of 20% every year. So I pick those up when I can, but I will never part with them. This is the Fenty Beauty. I have two of their highlighters, but I actually use them as eyeshadows. I'm actually not a huge fan of this because I don't even gravitate that much towards it. It's very, very frosty and chunky shimmer. So I'm not a huge fan of her like highlighters in this dual form, but I really do like this specific one for eyeshadow. I think it's very, very pretty when you put it blown out like as a smoky look, just all on the lid. So I'm gonna keep this one, but I will be getting rid of the lighter color. This one's in Mean Money and Hustler Baby, and this is Ginger Binge Moscow Mule, which is the pink one, and I'm gonna keep. Almost there, guys. This is the Urban Decay Moon Dust palette. They don't even sell this anymore, and I've always kept this because I always told myself, I was like, okay, maybe I'll need it one day when I'm doing like Halloween makeup or special events makeup, where I'll need a bunch of these glittery eyeshadows, but they're not even that great, and I would rather use the Stila ones anyway, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. I have a Sephora, that's a beer. I have the Sephora Pro palette, and this is the Pro Pigment palette editorial version, and I'm gonna be really honest with you, I have no freaking clue what was going through my mind when I purchased this palette. Like, I don't understand myself. I don't know why I bought this. I used to work at Sephora, so I got a 40% discount on all Sephora brand items. So I got this for super cheap, and I've never used it. Like, there's not one swatch mark on here. I might keep it just for, I don't know, just for shits and giggles later down the road, but we'll see. I'm actually gonna put this in the maybe pile. This is the Urban Decay Naked palette. Oh my god, this is so old. It is of sentimental value. I'm gonna have to throw this away because it's just taking up room and it's probably so expired. Gonna get rid of that. This is the Naked 3 palette by Urban Decay, and I'm also going to toss this as well because it is clearly expired and I don't use it ever. Those two I've definitely held on for way too long because of sentimental value, but it's not gonna do me any good even if I keep it. Oh my gosh, I remember when this palette was so big on YouTube, and I never use it anymore. So I'm going to declutter this and rehome it to someone who'll use it. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. This one, same thing. I don't ever use it. I am definitely keeping the Modern Renaissance by Anastasia. This is the color scheme. I'm sure yourself and your whole family and grandma have seen this already on YouTube, but definitely keeping this. It's one of my favorite palettes. Okay, this is the Norvina palette by Anastasia, and I believe this is like my newest Anastasia palette if I am remembering correctly, but I'm actually going to keep this because I do love these colors. Obviously, I love my purples, and it's hard to part with purple eyeshadows, as you can see, but I'm definitely gonna keep this one. Subculture. Okay. I am not gonna lie, I definitely bought this out of the hype that it has on YouTube, and I don't ever use it because I do think that these eyeshadows are harder to blend and it's just not as user-friendly as their other palettes, so I will be rehoming this one, sadly. This is another Anastasia palette. I have a lot of Anastasia palettes because they are one of my favorite eyeshadow brands. This is the Prism palette. Sorry, it's like super dusty. I actually really love this one. The quality is very on par with all of their other eyeshadow palettes, unlike the Subculture. And it does have some similar Subculture vibes in here, so I'm gonna keep this one instead. Must keep my Soft Glam palette by Anastasia. Just everyday neutrals with a bunch of like shimmery shadows in here. Love this one to death, so I'm gonna keep this. And I am definitely keeping my Master palette by Mario. And this is very similar to the Soft Glam, but a little bit more earthy in my opinion. So I do really, really enjoy this one. And I've used this a ton in the past. So that is literally everything. My acrylic box is absolutely empty. Now I'm gonna reorganize my Keep palettes inside my acrylic box. But let's go ahead and revisit the Maybes Tartelette palette with the cool shadows. I might actually keep this just because I don't have a lot of cool eyeshadows in my collection other than this. So that's the only reason why I'm keeping it, in case I need cooler eyeshadows for a look or something. This is a Naked Petite Heat palette. This is just so convenient because it's so tiny. I'll keep this. Really doesn't take up that much space. This is the Beauty Bakery Pudding eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna keep this because it's just so gorgeous. And I don't have any other makeup products from Beauty Bakery, so I'm going to keep this one. And I will keep this ridiculous Sephora Pro palette because who knows? Maybe I'll do a crazy, funky makeup look for Halloween this year. I don't freaking know. So I'll just keep it just in case if I do need to do anything crazy. I'm gonna start putting all of my makeup in here and I'll be right back. Alrighty, that is what my makeup drawer looks like now. I think I am pretty proud of the end result. This has come a very long way. I mean, honestly, it wasn't too much that I got rid of, but at the same time, it did free up a lot of space. And now I feel like I can actually take out palettes to use and different ones like on a regular basis. So I am really happy of the results. And this is the pile that I am rehoming and getting rid of. I think that's a pretty good amount of stuff that I'm getting rid of. So I'm proud of myself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful or entertaining in any way. I hope that it can kind of inspire you to declutter and minimalize your own makeup collection. I don't know, maybe there's something in your closet. Maybe there's something in your makeup collection that you thought you were going to use but never used before and it just needs a better home, or maybe you find things that are expired that definitely needs to get out of your collection. So hopefully this kind of gave you that little push for you to do that. I am excited to kind of do this, I guess, series on my channel where I am trying to become more of a minimalist and simplify my space. And yeah, that is everything. If you guys like this video, please remember to like. It helps my channel so much, and we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so please make sure to subscribe if you like these sort of content. And I do a lot of other beauty, fashion, and lifestyle videos here. I would love to have you guys here on my channel, and I will see you guys soon in my next video.